Hey guys, and welcome back. I'm Seiben here for the Aether Hub, bringing you more Amonkhet spoilers. In the dead of night, at least for me, we got our final god spoiled for Amonkhet. Fitting seeing how it's the black god, Bontu the Glorified. 4/6 legendary creature god for 2 generic and 1 black, with menace and indestructible. Bontu cannot attack or block unless a creature died under your control this turn. For 1 generic and a swamp, sacrifice another creature, scry 1, and each opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. And that's it guys, the full cycle of gods on the plane of Amonkhet. Bontu is one of the 3 gods that cost only 3 mana. Joining her, and yes, Bontu is confirmed to be a female, her blue and green counterparts having a slightly reduced power stat in exchange for slightly more toughness. Having menace as a keyword allows Bontu to swing in unopposed unless blocked by 2 or more creatures, making that bigger butt of hers all the more valuable. Bontu the Glorified is really interesting because she's the first god on Amonkhet that makes me think beyond just her stat line and her attack block requirement. I used to think that Hazoret had one of the more difficult requirements to regularly pull off, but Bontu's is trickier on a whole different level. It forces you to kill your own stuff, basically requiring that you pull off Morbid every turn if you want to swing in or block. Not an easy task. That means you'll need something out, and that something has to die, either by your opponent or through its activated ability. Yet, out of all the gods on Amonkhet, Bontu's activated ability is the only one that 100% guarantees you can attack or block with her. The others kinda just help in that direction, but if you use Bontu's, she's an unbound creature for that turn. Of course, when you're trying to do everything with Bontu, on your and your opponent's turn, you'll probably run out of things to sack pretty quickly. Bontu's the sack engine I think a lot of us were looking for in Amonkhet. Although it's kind of a bummer that it costs 2 mana to pull off. I think I speak for all of us when I say we really wanted to see a free sack outlet, but hey, Aristocrats are gonna like it either way. We all knew Amonkhet was going to have a god of death and deal a lot with the undead, and in that, Bontu truly fits the bill. Yet, will her big butt and sack potential be enough to put Aristocrats back into the standard spotlight? It's hard to say. The reason those decks work so well is because the chain reaction when something sort of just pops off. While Bontu could be an enabler for that sort of interaction, the cost of the activated ability kinda has me hesitant. Of course, there are things you'd want to sack right now, and bomb creatures are some you probably wouldn't mind. Dread Wanderer is another who acts sort of like the poor, very poor man's version of Gravecrawler, but the best scene out of Amonkhet is probably Doom Dissenter, who makes a 2/2 zombie when it dies. Yet still, there needs to be something more. Then, you remember, Liliana, Death's Majesty. Bontu is the perfect pawn to send your creatures into the graveyard, only to have them come back as zombies thanks to this Planeswalker. And this is when you truly start to see this zombie synergy emerge. Couple these cards with the new Undead General, Lord of the Accursed, and you have yourself a regular old zombie factory and powerhouse. Never run out of stuff, and all the stuff becomes stronger and harder to block. But again, that's more zombie tribal than aristocrat stuff. I know Yahenni Undying Partisan would love to be in the same deck as Bontu, but I'm still not seeing the value out of the things we'd have to sacrifice, outside of just more fodder for Liliana. Out of all the Amonkhet gods, Bontu is the hardest for me to judge. Probably has one of the most punishing attack requirements, but at least it's guaranteed. There's definitely something brewing with its activated ability, but it just hasn't bubbled to the surface yet. Its stats are nice and menace is meaningful, but again, swinging in's gonna cost ya. It's really hard for me to say. Right now, I'd say there isn't a solid enough deck in Standard that can work off the stacked creatures. Madness just seems a lot more plausible with the discard and cycling effects. Now, that's not to say there isn't something here, only that I'm not seeing it. Not yet anyway. We still have more cards to spoil, and of course the second half of this block to come. Maybe the idea just isn't realized yet. As for limited play, well, again, it's tricky. Yeah, sure, a guaranteed way to attack and block with a god is a lot better than the others we've seen, but usually in limited, you don't want to lose board presence. Especially if it just allows you to scry 1, gain a life, deal 1 damage to the opponent, and swing in with a 4/6 body. That's a steep price. I'd say it could be okay, maybe as a combat trick, just because it's cheap. But in limited, its activated ability is pretty harsh. As with the 4 other gods before it, let's compare Bontu with her Theros counterpart, the god of the dead, Erebos. This is the first time where the two gods of these different planes actually differ in a significant degree. They don't match in cost, power, toughness, keywords, and while their activated abilities cost the same, they do different things. I don't really value stopping my opponents from gaining life, but of course, you do get that card draw for 2 mana and 2 life. I'd say that's slightly better than bashing or blocking with a 4/6 and getting a 2 life health swing. Sure, you lose Menace, but card draw is just too good. I'd take Erebos God of the Dead here any day. Anyway guys, that's all I had to say about Bontu the Glorified. Let me know what you think about the Black God of Amonkhet in the comment section below. If you enjoyed the video and want to support the Aether Hub here on YouTube, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe for more awesome MTG content. As always guys, thanks for watching and I'll catch you next time here on the Aether Hub.